What is going on, guys? How is it going today? Welcome back to another episode here. Live flipping session for you guys today, working with 2,140,000,000 GP, as we typically do on these streams, guys. Welcome to this lovely Monday evening live stream. Hopefully you guys did a good amount of flipping over the weekend. The market was pretty good for flipping. I was able to make a couple mil on the weekend. Pretty low effort. So on top of that as well, I got a haircut, guys, so you can feel free to let me know how you feel about that in the live chat as well. But let's get into it, guys. I don't want to waste a lot of time here today. And honestly, typically we don't waste too much time on these flipping live streams. Anyway, so I'm going to crack into some flips here. I'm seeing an upward rotation on the Grazi right now. Grazi does look like it is starting to rotate up a little bit, at least in this active session here. So we're actually going to go in and try to flip a few of these Grazis here, try to be relatively aggressive on the buy offer, as I do think the direction is upwards on this one. I was looking at it before the start of the stream, and things are looking pretty good on the front of the Grazi rapiers. So let's go in. We'll still take it pretty conservative here. Just get 3 of the Grazis listed right now, and we'll see how that actually ends up going. We have Saints fan in van tuning in. He says, time to smack some tacits around. Good to see you, Saint, man. Thank you for tuning in today. We're going to do our best to smack some tacits around. Honestly, every item we encounter today, we're going to do our best to give it a nice 1-2 Gmul spec, if you know what I mean. But anyway, let's go ahead and get these Sanguesti stabs going as well. Currently looks like these Sanguesti stabs, are rotating up as well here. I am seeing a buy opportunity on the Sanguesti staff, sort of following the Grazis as well. So we'll do the same exact thing, and we'll just get 3 of the Sanguesti staffs listed and ready to rip here on the exchange. Now, I am looking at the Twisted Bow. It is something I want to go ahead and flip. There seems to be a lot of buy-in movement on the Twisted Bow beneath 1 billion GP. I mean, we saw this Twisted Bow come all the way down to about 915 million GP, and since then, it's honestly been on a pretty steady uptrend to that 1 bill mark again. So I do imagine that like logically the T-Bow will probably get back to that price either somewhat soon, or it's going to trade sideways underneath for a while and then get there. I don't see a ton of downside currently right now on the Twisted Bow. That does not mean go make an investment. Of course, do your own analysis on these things. This is really a complete guess on how I think the Twisted Bow price will behave. Keep in mind, it is one of the most sought out range items in the game. It's very powerful. It's one of those like end game PVM items that people look forward to. Now, we do have the Grazi and the Sanguesti staff already on here, ready to do their thing. We have Snippy Pat as well, saying Dragon Claws and Dragon Warhammer made me 4 million GP this weekend. Dude, that's freaking insane, man. Congrats on the gains for that one. Now, we also have OSRS Clusa saying good day. Good to see you, Clusa, man. Thank you for tuning in today. Do appreciate it. He also, Snippy Pat, saying he just started flipping as well. Where did you learn how to flip, Snippy, man? Hopefully I helped you or taught you a thing or two about flipping. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the live stream, let me know. Be sure to drop a like. Let's get into it, dude. We also have Iris saying, good morning, bro. It's evening where I am, but Iris, it is good to see you as well, man. Just cracking into our first couple of flips here today. I do want to get the Scythe of Vitur going as well, but the Scythe of Vitur is not as clear to me as far as like a direction standpoint goes on it. So we're going to list pretty low at first in hopes of getting a cheap one, and then we'll actually rotate that up if I do think the price is going to continue upwards here. Now, I also want to get in on these Sanguesti stabs, make sure we turn around and sell this. The problem with the Sanguesti right now is we did fill the full limit of 3, the full offer we had in there, but we actually haven't seen any sells since our buy offer filled here. So that is something we want to keep in mind here from a risk standpoint. We don't want to let that sit for too long, so we'll keep a close eye on the Sanguesti staff, at least for the next couple of minutes. We have Saints fan in Vancouver, is what he means to say. But he says, I think I have my best flip ever this weekend. I made 1 mil profit per SGS, flipping them overnight. Can I get a Pog Champ in the chat for Saints fan? Dude, that's amazing, man. Congrats on the gains for that one. And I'm actually curious, how did you decide what price to list out overnight? Were you following one of my guides potentially, or have you just been trying overnights and now you actually know where to list overnight? Let me know, man. I would be curious to know. Overnights are always something people can improve on. Whether you're really good at it or you honestly feel like you're really good at it, there's always room for improvement, right? It's one of those skills where, you know, there's no limit. Honestly, I honestly feel that way. Let's do the Dragon Hunter Crossbow next, guys. Dragon Hunter Crossbow is showing an upward rotation as well. So we're actually going to go in and try to flip some of these really quick. Hopefully it goes our way here. It could be a little bit suspect. Vulcan says, good luck on flips. Thank you, Vulcan. Do appreciate it, man. We also have the one Grassi coming in, but we weren't able to fill any more of them, which is a little bit of a shame. This should sell relatively easily, though. We should be able to make a nice profit on that. We did get a Sanguesti staff off as well, which I'm very, very happy to see. And a lot of our flips are moving right now. I do expect that to slow down as we go on with the session here, which is why we're trying to rotate into some of those more expensive items, right? Scythe of Vitur, maybe the Twisted Bow looks good. Don't think I'm going to flip the Elysian today, just because it kind of takes a long time to flip that thing. And it hasn't been the most reliable for me as of late. Not that it's a bad flip, it's just right now, I'm going to take a little bit of a rest with the Elysian. It's been quite a crazy item. No bad experiences, though. It's just like I'm getting into situations that I find are a little bit too risky for me. I want to get out of them, and then things start trending in the direction I don't want, right? So it's a little bit more of like a panic situation on those where you're really deciding, like, should I hold? Should I sell? Like, what should I do? And honestly, I don't want to be in one of those situations today, guys. Douglas says, I've been getting about 500k on Dragonfire Awards, holding for about a day. Wow, that's freaking insane, man. Why Dragonfire Awards? What made you find those? Maybe the price just looked good. You decided, hey, let me try to flip a couple of these. I would be interested in how you found that item. We also have Snippy Pat saying, all from you. I watched the vids for a while, then decided to start flipping Dragon Warhammer 250k flips. Snippy, man, I'm so happy I helped you out, dude. And of course, if you're enjoying this live stream as well, man, definitely drop a like. Really does help me out a lot. Also, Snippy, since you are a little bit new to flipping, let me know if you have any questions about what to flip with your cash stack or how to manage your cash stack. I'd love to give you some guidance on that if you'd like a little bit more help. But if you think you're good on your own, then feel free, man, to walk away from that offer. We have Saints Van saying, I followed your tip where I looked at the 24-hour and the 1-week graph and found the low point where I was comfortable with. There was a bit in an uptrend on the item. To be honest, I might have gotten a bit lucky. Doesn't matter, man. As long as you got lucky, you look, a lot of overnight flipping is going to be, there's definitely going to be some luck involved, right? There's no doubt about that in my mind. I mean, overnight flipping is honestly just hoping that things will trend the direction that you are expecting them to the price levels that you predict. Now, your predictions might be really off, but sometimes just the trend alone will end up making you a lot of money. So, I'm glad that it worked out for you, man. A lot of overnights are just a lot of luck involved, and it worked out in your favor. So that's awesome, man. Anyway, guys, welcome to the stream today. Thank you for hanging with me on this lovely, lovely Monday evening. Be sure to drop a like if you are enjoying it. It really does help me out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And let's flip some items today, guys. A lot of stuff is actually going in our favor, currently averaging about 5 mil an hour right now, which is not amazing, but we still are waiting for a couple flips to come through here, as they're taking a little bit longer than I did expect. Now, we're actually going to lower this last Sanguesti staff because the price actually got updated, so we are not able to sell this one at the original price we were hoping for. It's not a big deal. We can just lower it a little bit and get out of that flip. Besides that, I feel relatively comfortable with where all the other items are, besides maybe the Dragon Claws. It does actually look like Dragon Claws are rotating up in price, so I'm actually going to be a little bit more aggressive on the claws here and chase them upward. I see that that sell prices is constantly going a little bit further and further up, which tends to mean that the item is trending upwards, so especially when the buy offer is not updated that frequently. We also filled out 2 Dragon Hunter crossbows there at the end. A little bit nervous about that. You usually don't want to fill double quantities like that quickly, right? Because that means the item could be coming down on you. So we'll take a little bit of a cutback on that to try to get out of it. And I think I actually listed that wrong. Yep, we listed it wrong and we lost about 120k. Wouldn't be a Monday stream without it, would it? But we did smack the Scythe of Vitur. Very happy about that. Sometimes, guys, I just get caught up so much in the flipping and the commentary that, you know what? I list my prices incorrectly, okay? Can you blame me? 500 and let's see how much 840k on the Scythe of Vitur, which is pretty good. I'm happy with it. I think we can do a little bit better though, so I'm actually going to list a little bit lower on this next one, see if it actually comes down and fills in our direction, hoping for the best on that one. Now we also, oh my, Gyroscope with the subscription, man. Thank you, Gyroscope, with the T1 sub for 3 months, dude. That's freaking incredible. We also have Wild Muffin popping in the chat. Good to see you, Wild Muffin. And we also had Mark Baker say, I made 9 million GP today with a 240 mil cash stack. Freaking incredible gains, Mark. He said, I made a bunch on the high-end mage gear. I'm assuming like Dagon High and Arams and maybe Ancestral as well. Very good session, man. Hopefully you were averaging a pretty good profit per hour as well. You didn't spend too many hours flipping. We also have Douglas saying the instant margin isn't very good on the Dragonfire Ward, excuse me, but they do go up and down by a few hundred K per day. Your overnight guide helped me find the item. Amazing, Douglas, dude. Dude, seems like you're crushing it, man. If you're making 100K, you know, profit on 800K, excuse me. It's been like this over a week. Amazing, man. Pat says, I have 90 mil cash stack. Do you invest most of your cash on a single item or a few items? When you say invest, I'm assuming that you mean buy. Like I have offers here. Like, would you say this is investing? Because if that's the case, we got to be a little bit careful with the terminology, right? As far as flipping your cash stack with 90 mil goes, you're going to want to spread that out across as many items as possible. I typically recommend trying to do this in a high volume fashion, capitalize on some of that high volume stuff, but it's really up to you. You could do this on like medium level gear, like Barrow's gear as well, but it is more work to spread out your cash stack, so keep that in mind as well. I don't recommend it as much as I used to. You should spread that out about maybe across like 4 to 6 slots. You probably don't want to use all 8 because it's going to be too much maintenance unless you're doing high volume specifically. If you're just doing high volume, feel free to use all the slots that you have. Otherwise, you know, if you use 8 slots, it's going to be too much maintenance. Even here with like 5 or 6 like high margin items, it is a lot of maintenance for me to keep on top of things. So just something to keep in mind. Now we're going to list these Spectral Spirit Shields back. We're going to hope for a good margin on these. It actually does look like it's going to be a pretty good flip, so I'm excited to see how much we can actually end up making on this. And those Dragon Claws are still buying, which is a good sign here. No Scythe yet. We're still waiting to sell the Grazi, which I do imagine is probably coming down a little bit in price. I'm almost certain it is, but I'm actually going to leave these here and hope they do fill in our favor. We have Nevkir saying, heyo, how are you doing, guys? Good to see you, Nevkir. Thank you for tuning in today. Welcome to Monday's live stream. We're flipping here today with a 2.14 bill cash stack here today. So we're going to see how much money we can make. It's been going decently well so far. We still have 808 mil on hand to actually deploy. And it's going to be interesting trying to fill these next couple of offers here. Now, I'm actually going to go back in on the Scythe at our original price point. And the reason I'm doing this is because the buy price was updated in the up direction, right? So it's about 300, and it's about 400K above where I was previously listed. So I have a feeling that my previous offer is now more competitive to actually fill if the price information was maybe listed a little bit too high, right? Someone that was getting into the item that might not know the movement as well, and we actually might be able to capitalize on that situation, but there's obviously no guarantees on that. We just had another one fill about 200K above that previous price that was listed. So we could see a strong uptrend here. I'm going to camp a little bit above my original margin, and we're going to see what happens. Mark says less than an hour. Oh my goodness, man. Ancestral and Kodai Wand. Secrets, though, don't tell anyone. Oh, well, you just got exposed, dude. Anyway, we did sell those Grazis off, which is kind of nice. Really hoping to get in on another Twisted Bow here because, not a Twisted Bow, a Scythe of Retur, because we did make 840K on that last one, which is pretty solid. It would be a shame not to actually fill another one and get some more profit. Nev says, any good flips today? Wish I could flip, just in a lab working on my master's project. Do the schoolwork first, man, but when you get home and you can do some flipping, it depends how much money you have. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely always a lot of good flips, guys. If you are looking for flips in your flipping session, you guys should make sure that when you're actually searching for items, you're using sites like GE Tracker or the OSRS Wiki Price Tracker. You're going to want to use these sites because they're actually going to tell you which items are going to make you the most profit. You can filter them down, check out what's going to make you the most, and I don't always recommend chasing the items that have the best margins just because they're also going to have the most competition, but they are something to keep in mind. You can watch the price movement on them, see if potentially you can get in on a little bit of a swing trade. That would be preferable, but I mean, obviously there's a ton of different situations you could end up with by looking at these graphs. But anyway, we are going in on this Twisted Bow relatively aggressively. I do see that the price is coming up, so we've got a pretty medium offer here. We're going to see if that hits. It's pretty much mid-price on the spread, so I do think it'll actually work out, but it might take a little bit longer. Kodai was making 1.4 mil in 20 minutes and sometimes less. Never had this much profit on an item before. Yeah, I mean, sometimes like a lot of... here's the thing is sometimes when you're flipping on the Grand Exchange, right, you're going to come into these situations where margins just get massive, and it's kind of random, right? You don't know exactly why the margin is so large, but all you do know is you want to capitalize on it, right? And typically these things happen when someone buys a mass quantity of the item, or, you know, at other times it's just like random. That was weird, a weird way I said it. Other times it ends up just being the situation where there wasn't enough supply just actively on the Grand Exchange, and it caused the price to kind of strangle itself and come upwards. So that's another possibility. It doesn't always mean that someone's buying a lot, but it's more the latter, you know what I mean? Which program overlay are you using to track your profits? This is called Flipping Utilities. It's completely free. It's available in RuneLite. It is by far the best flipping plugin that I know as of right now. Highly recommend checking it out, man. These Dragon Claws are... The spread is looking a little bit tighter, guys. I actually don't want to sit on these for too long because of that. So we're going to knock these down here. Still getting a good margin on them, so don't think we're not going to make any money. But we do want to try to escape these at a reasonable pace here, considering that margin's tightening up. We did also get the Twisted Bow. Let's see if we can get this thing off, man. I'm really curious. I'm hoping we can get an absolute amazing margin on this. Let's go in and sell that Twisted Bow. Let me just make sure the price is right. And it is. Instant sell, guys. I mean, are you serious? Like, is this real? Is this real? Is this real life, man? Like, you can't make this up, man. You literally cannot make this up, dude. You know, these high margin items recently have been freaking insane, man. Insane flips on some of this stuff. 3.9 mil on a Twisted Bow flip. Instant sell. Instant sell. Freaking crazy, man. So happy to see it, dude. Honestly, we just got really lucky on that one, so that's going to add another 3.9 mil to the session today. Very happy with that performance, obviously, but that was honestly complete luck. So we'll take that to the bank. Hey, we'll take those gains, man. A really strong session right now, though, currently averaging about 22 million GP per hour. So take a look at that before it goes away. But definitely a really strong average right now. And we're actually going to try to rotate into some other stuff here because we're going to need something to, you know, keep that profit going, right? And I'm currently looking at a bunch of items here, not really finding too much that looks amazing. Definitely some okay opportunities, but nothing that... I'm too excited about. But you know, one thing I would like to go in on is these Bandos Tassets here. I do think the Tassets will be a decent flip for us here in the short term. I do see that the price is the margin's tightening up a little bit, which is a shame, but I do think we're going to be able to get these off without too much of a problem here. So we're going to go in on 8 Tassets, so let that do its thing there. We also have 221 mil left in the stack as well, which we could try to capitalize on. I'm trying to get another Twisted Bow for the same level we got it at before, because, you know, it might just be a wonky margin. We might actually get lucky on that. We'll have to see, but I do want to do the Bandos Tasset as well. It does look like the Bandos... Sorry, the Bandos Chestplate, excuse me. The Bandos Chestplate does look like it's doing the same thing here with a tightening margin, but again, I do think we're going to be able to flip a few of these before we're out of luck on them. And we'll get the chestplates as well. We did just fill the Scythe of Etur here. Very happy to see that. And we should be good at about here. It's not going to make us a ton of money, but also keep in mind that I do think the Scythe of Etur is actually coming down in price right now, so we do need to keep that in mind as well. Anyway, guys, I hope you are doing well today. Welcome to the live stream. We're here flipping on this lovely Monday evening, trying to make a little bit of profit today. Guys, just really quick, if you're not with us on Discord, feel free to join us with the link in the description below. We also have it in one of the panels below if you'd like to check that out as well. We have a Discord dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about flipping, and honestly, if you just want to get a little bit more into it, then definitely join that Discord, man. It's super helpful. Mark says, like the stream, fam, show your man some support and check your posture. Oh, my posture's always bad, man. Let's fix up the posture, man. We got to get the posture fixed up. We got to keep it official here. You know, look, listen, we got a steel backbone at the exchange, okay? No doubt about it. We also are selling those spectral shields off, going very well on those. Jord Dizzy Man, good to see you in the chat. He says, have you invested in Neo? I have not. I've never been a Neo investor personally, but hopefully you've made some gains on Neo, man, because I know they've had a relatively crazy 2020, maybe an even crazier 2021. I don't exactly know. Anyway, guys, welcome to the stream. Let's make some money today, guys. It's going super well so far. 6 mil session, currently averaging about 19 mil an hour. Obviously, that might be a little bit unrealistic, but hey, you never know. We might be able to make that profit. We also need to keep in mind that the Scythe of Vitur might have a little bit of a problem here. It actually might make me rotate out of this Twisted Bow in hopes of actually getting in on another Scythe for a cheaper price. I do see here in the short term the Scythe coming down about maybe 1.52 mil, so I'm going to try to capitalize on that and position myself for that actual downtrend. So let's try to get in an offer on that, and yeah, we're going to try to capitalize. Made over 15k on Neo. Wow, nice, man. And that's European, so that's maybe 20k US. Very nice. Not really my strategy. I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to real life investing. I just buy things and I hope they, you know, long-term stuff, and I just let it ride, whatever, man. We have Brant tuning in. He says, made it to my first live stream. Nice. 6:20 in the morning from the Philippines. Good morning to the Philippines. Guys, let me know in the live chat where you're actually tuning in from, okay? I want to know where everyone is in the live chat. Of course, if you're comfortable with it, but I want to see, like, you know, who has the most flippers? Like, what country is flipping the most, man? You know what I mean? Like, so let me know where you're from, man. Always curious to know. It's just good to know my viewers a little bit more. Makes it a little bit more personal. Now, we do have another great margin on the Grazi. Surprisingly, the Grazi is still rotating upwards, which I actually didn't expect, because we actually had an offer fill without too much trouble, which usually means something is coming down. So that's an interesting one, but I digress. Let's go in and try to find some other stuff here. There's nothing I see right now that's really making me that happy, which is sort of a shame. Like, from a margin standpoint, I mean. Colorado, amazing, man. What companies do you invest in real life? A lot. Like, Microsoft's one of my biggest ones. I like Apple too. Those are probably my big two, like, single holdings. But I also buy a lot of ETF stuff, right? So just like long-term market stuff. So S&P, QQQ, like NASDAQ. Tracker is another one that I like, but I've kind of been getting hammered in the stock market recently a little bit. I have too much exposure to tech and growth stocks, and that's really hurting me right now. So the short term, it doesn't feel too good, but I'm sure we'll be okay in the long term. Let's get some of this Kodai stuff going here. Actually, no. Let's do this Hosta, actually. The Zamorakian Hosta is always a decent flip for us to capitalize on. It's actually one of those, like, lesser known flips, believe it or not. I'm not saying there's no competition on it or anything, because obviously it depends on if the price comes up in the price tracker these days, but it is one of my, used to be one of my favorite go-to items. It's a perfect item for, like, a medium level quote unquote cash stacks. Maybe if you're working with about, I don't know, maybe 150 mil plus, you can definitely rotate some Zamorakian Hostas into our item list. They're definitely a solid one. We also have the Dragon Claws struggling a little bit, so that margin actually came down on us, which is a little bit unfortunate. We're going to be a little bit over break even if we sell this last one for a slight loss of about 10k. We'll definitely be in profit if that's the case. But 6.2 mil session so far, doing very, very well. Keeping a close eye on a lot of this stuff here. I'm also going to go ahead and pull up the price tracker on the side here. I do want to see if I can get into maybe something a little bit more expensive as well. Something that's going to take a little bit longer to trade. And the Volatile Orb actually looks decent right now. It doesn't look amazing. I'm not a huge fan of the way it looks, but it's not going to be too bad for us. So let's go in and try to flip one of these and see if we can make any money on it today. It's only going to take up one slot, run us about 222 million GP, so not too bad at all. Let's go and try to get another item going, maybe the Arcane Spirit Shield. I need to keep a close eye on this to see if the price is actually coming up or down on it, but I'm just going to assume down on it, right? Because the sell price has not been updated quite yet, hasn't been updated in a while, and I also see that the Elysian is coming down, so I do assume that potentially this Arcane Spirit Shield is coming down in price. So we're going to position relatively low low on the Arcane Spirit Shields and hope that actually trades in our direction. We're going to get those listed and ready to go. We have the Tacits completely filled out. Let's go back and sell these. Definitely making way less money than I was before on these. That does happen a lot with the Tacits, right? Because it is one of those lower items. It's a little bit more competitive. A lot of people like to flip the Tassis. And look, I don't blame them. The Tassis are a great flip, but when a lot of people flip this item, the margin gets really, really tight, and it kind of kills your potential gains. So it's something to also keep in mind when you are flipping Tacits or really any high gear related item. Waiting on some of this stuff to come through here, guys. We are being very, very patient in the way we do things today. We do need to be patient to actually make a little bit of money in this market. One thing we should keep in mind, though, is the Scythe of Vitur is not really doing great for us right now. I am actually going to rotate this down to a slight profit. Now, we're at a very slight profit right now. We also got those Dragon Claws off. We'll see 49k on 2 Dragon Claws, so not a great margin at all on that in the end. We did lose about 10-15k on that last one. Let's also try and get in on some Dragon Warhammers, potentially. We'll actually put that in place of the Zamorakian Hostas. We do need a little bit more money on hand to actually flip the Dragon Warhammer successfully. So we'll put a little bit of money into that right now. Dragon Warhammer looking not as good as I was actually hoping, because the price literally just updated. So we'll get like maybe 3 of them off the bat. We'll see how that goes. Then we did get the next Scythe off, which is nice. I don't think we lost money on that. We actually made a very, very slight amount of money. I think like literally, let's see, literally 135k. So we got out of it. Maybe we were a little bit too quick to kind of sell off there, but at the same time, like, the Scythe is not having an updated sell price. Buy price has gone lower twice without the sell price updating. So typically when that happens, the eye does show that the item is coming down in price. And I want to reposition myself on that flip so I can take advantage of the downward movement. Even if I have to lock in a small profit or a small loss in the temporary, in the interim, I will do that to actually try to reposition at a better price because, look, you can make more money that way. And look, I'm all about adjusting for risk and making the most I can. So it's always good to take a little bit of money if you have it on the table. We also have Saints Band saying, my in real life investment strategy is similar to yours, heavily invested into tech while also buying into one of those all-in-one growth ETFs. Yeah, you want to make sure your portfolio is not too risk heavy, but in my opinion, like, you should be investing into primarily like low expense ratio ETFs if possible. And while you're doing that, the best way to really build a long-term portfolio is decide, like, do I like growth or do I like value more? That's honestly what I do. I like growth more. So I have my portfolio like 75% built around growth stocks and 25% built around like value and total market because it's just not as important in my opinion. And I'm young, so I'll try to track like aggressive gains while I'm young. More time obviously could equal a longer return, and also makes it a little bit safer from a risk standpoint. So anyway, I'm ranting on about it. It's not important. We're here to talk about RuneScape today, guys, of course, as always. But that being said, let me actually, before I get into some more comments here, I do want to adjust the price of the Scythe because we did find out that the Scythe is probably not going to rotate down another like 1.52 mil on us. So let's go in on the Scythe for a little bit more aggressive of a buy price here and see if we can get another one. I'm curious to see if we can get a cheap one here, try to flip it really quickly, get in and out of that flip. Now, the Arcane Spirit Shields have not really worked out yet. It's interesting. I see the buy price coming up on the Arcanes, but no sell price updates yet. So I'm assuming this potentially could still be coming down. But I'm going to go in aggressively on it and see what we can do here. The Witty says, how's it going, Scape? Sorry, I'm late today. No problem. Witty, welcome to the stream today, man. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to drop a like if you are enjoying. Does help me out a lot. We also have Mir saying, what items do you recommend with a 100 mil cash stack? Or how should I find items that are good to flip? Mir, what I would recommend doing if you are looking for items that are good to flip is using the OSRS price wiki to find these items. Because it actually will recommend you the best margin items at any given point in time with the real-time price data. So that's going to be very helpful in just finding flipping items. Now, on top of that as well, you want to make sure when you are flipping that you have a flipping list to reference from, right? So as you're flipping, as you're finding items that are good, be sure to write them down on a list. And the reason you actually want to do this is because when it comes time for your next flipping session, you can actually look at your list and make sure that you're looking at the margins on every single item on the list, flipping that entire list and making it so you're getting like a more consistent profit, right? The worst thing you could do is have downtime in your flipping session where you're not really doing anything because you're not making money, right? So that's actually not called flipping. That's not called flipping. That's called not playing the game, right? Of course. But I digress, or it could be called bank standing, whatever you want to call it, I guess. We'll go ahead and do the... I do want to try to do another scythe here, but I'm a little bit afraid of that price right now. We do have 912 mil on hand, so plenty of GP to go around, but at the same exact time, not a lot of great options from a profit standpoint. Let's do this Dragon Hunter crossbow next, guys. Or sorry, Dragon Hunter lance, excuse me. The lance is looking okay. It does look like it's coming up in price, so we definitely will try to take advantage of that here. And we still have 446 mil on hand, so still plenty of GP, man. The sweet Tebow flip. Toxic, man, we got super lucky on that, but definitely lucky. Vulcan says 10 mil today. Any big gainers? Let's try to get that 10 mil, man. I think we're going to be a little bit short. The only reason I say we're going to be short is because we haven't had too many consistent scythe flips yet, and that's usually the one that drives the most profit for me. And the twisted bow is just going crazy price-wise. So it's, you know, we'll get back into another twisted bow, but not until it settles down just a little bit here. Douglas says, Queen Saraha's collection of white calves inspired me to do the same. I have almost 1,100 now. Oh my goodness, man. Well, that's incredible. I mean, I collect vials of water, so that's my collection. But anyway. Do a shark flip? No, I don't think I'm going to flip sharks today. Mir says, I love how much info you give, man. I found your videos only the other day, and I've already watched multiple. Keep up the good work and the good energy. Mir, dude. Thank you so much, man. I'm honored for the compliment. And I'm going to keep doing my streams, doing my best to teach you guys how to flip with your cash stack. But of course, I 100% recommend joining us on Discord if you're serious about flipping. We have a Discord group dedicated to flipping and money making in old school RuneScape. And whether you're a beginner or an experienced player, regardless of your experience level, just go in there, talk in the general chat, say what's up, talk to some other people. They're going to teach you what they know about flipping. And of course, you can ask questions to me directly on Discord. I'll answer any PMs you might have about flipping. Now, enough of the spiel. Let's keep going here, guys. It's kind of funny. I actually did want to talk about this. This was something I noticed. Have you guys noticed, right? If you're someone who flips a lot on the exchange, have you noticed that bond prices have not really moved in quite some time? I mean, we've been bouncing between like 4.8 and 5.2 mil for like weeks, man. I mean, it's just kind of interesting. The bond price has been very, very stable, and it's just, I don't really have a comment on it. I don't really know why it's doing that, but it was something I noticed the other day, and I was like, I wonder what's going on with bonds and why they are so stable. I'd have to think about it a little bit more to actually determine why they might be so stable right now, but it was definitely an observation I had. Now, we don't want to do 20 of these. Let's try and get 14 prims really quick. Try to just scoop up some prims, see if it goes in our favor here, and try to make a little bit of money off that. Mark says, I noticed the bond thing more as well. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, the bonds they're just kind of sitting at the same price, which typically they're trending, right? Typically they're going up or they're going down, but recently they've just been staying still, which is quite interesting. Might have to do a more in-depth analysis on that one. Pegasian's also rotating up. Let's try to get a few of those as well. I don't love flipping Primordial Boots and Pegasian Boots in the new meta because I find them quite difficult to flip. This is also an item that has a very high supply as well, very high buy limit, so these things can get dumped and pumped quite easily across multiple accounts. So that is something to keep in mind when you are flipping Pegasians and Primordial Boots, just because someone might pump or dump an item and it could screw you. So keep that in mind. Although they are really good flips because they do have, again, a 15 per 4 hour limit, which which makes it a very nice item to flip. But of course, guys, if you are enjoying the stream today, be sure to drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I'm always bringing flipping live streams and flipping content to the channel for you guys to enjoy, so I hope you do enjoy it. And it looks like we were just low on the Arcane Spirit Shield buy price. That is super unfortunate. Now, I do see that margin tightening up a little bit on the Arcanes, which is not amazing. It's not terrible, but it's not great. I do see a little bit of consolidation on the buy price, though, and it is slowly going up. So that does give me a little bit of confidence that we could rotate upwards on the Arcane Spirit Shields, and I might even be buying for too high, but we'll see if we can play the upward direction on that one. I never flip boots. It doesn't make sense why I don't. I just don't make as much on them, but that makes sense with the volume of it. They're also pretty competitive. Like, flipping the Pegasians and Primordial boots is not necessarily an easy task, and I think a lot of people are discouraged to flip them because when they list them and they try to get them to buy, they are usually undercut or overcut, or they just have a hard time flipping it in general. It does require a fair bit of maintenance. And we're going to go back and sell these Dragon Hunter Lances here. We did get 2 Arcanes. We probably got a little bit too bad of a deal on those, actually, which is not great. But at the same time, I think we're going to be okay. I do have a little bit of confidence in those Arcane Spirit Shields, actually. And let's try to get 2 of the Kodai ones as well. Definitely a risky flip on that one too. But it does look like it, again, is going up. So, I mean, if I see an item that looks like it's going to rotate upwards, I have trouble not buying the item. You know what I mean? Might as well risk it. Even if it doesn't look like it's a great deal. It's more important to play on direction of items than specific price points, if that makes sense, right? Like, if you see a 1 mil margin on, the... I don't know, Dragon Hunter crossbow or something like that, that doesn't mean you're necessarily going to hit that 1 mil margin. You can actually buy in to that 1 mil margin thinking you're going to make it and just have the item crash further on you, because the reason the margin looks so big was because someone sold the item and then it crashed and your margin's really big. And, there's obviously a lot more that goes into that. But anyway. Mir says, when you say you're going in aggressively, does that generally mean you're putting in an offer at quite a bit higher? Yeah, exactly. It's like, if I'm going in aggressively, I'm going well above the margin because I expect the item price to be higher than the current margin that is displayed, because I think the item is going to go further up in price, because I've been seeing that buy price go up and up and up. So I'm like preemptively taking a step to actually put myself in a good position to play the uptrend. And to play the uptrend, you obviously have to have the item. So I'm doing that. When I say I'm going in aggressively, just means I'm going in for higher than the margin. Typically a good bit higher. Nevgear says, honestly, I'm sort of surprised as well for the bonds. I'm thinking of stagnant growth for the game might be a reason. It goes higher when there are major updates and down after. So my hunch is stagnant player base. Nevgear, I agree 100%. I don't think there's a lot of people rotating into RuneScape right now. I don't think we have a growing player base by any means. Actually, in the most recent video I did, it actually looks like it's declining. So definitely would assume it's a stale player base. But if it was a stale player base, I would actually imagine bonds to come down in price a little bit. So it looks like it's about equal demand on each end, which is cool. I always get dumped on when I try the boots. Yeah, we could get dumped on here. It kind of looks like that might shape up. Someone's testing the waters on us, potentially. So we'll see what happens. But good to see you, Gyroscope, man. Thank you for tuning in. That one or more Steam payment method. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it could be. People could be using Steam for bonds. I forgot about it, if it was integrated with Steam or not. So that's good to see. I mean, that's good. If anything, that means likely cheaper bonds. More people buy bonds, which is good. We're looking a little bit stale on that scythe, aren't we? The scythe actually went back up in price, so we actually misplayed that one. We've probably been doing it for a while. I just didn't notice. Oh, no. Oh, shoot. Hold on. It might not be the end, though. I didn't list it incorrectly. I just bought for too high. Oh, shoot, man. The margin was still going... it's going to be tough on that one. The margin that was being displayed was not exactly the accurate margin. So while there is a high sell price recorded, the margin is a little bit bigger than we would have hoped. That's interesting. It's not the end of the world, though. I'm going to try to pull a little bit more money together to get in on another scythe in the meantime, because typically what happens is if I get a bad flip, I have enough money to actually go ahead and buy another one of the item, I like to get in to kind of average out my buy offers to make it a little bit cheaper, just in case if I have to sell my first scythe for a little bit less, then I'll know for a fact that if I'm able to buy that second one, I'm at least getting closer to break even because I'm taking advantage of that lower item opportunity, like a downtrending opportunity, basically. Mir says, okay, we already went through that. Sand says, yeah, Steam bonds are nice. I use them to regional price. Oh, interesting, because they're probably cheaper, right? That's what I've heard, at least. Yeah says, is GE Tracker Pro essential for flipping, or will flipping utilities be able to get me by? I mean, GE Tracker Pro obviously has a lot of features on its own outside of just flipping features, so I feel like that's something for you to consider. I mean, personally, we are affiliated with GE Tracker here on the channel. We do have a promotion link in the description below, so if anyone's trying to pick up GE Tracker as a tool, you definitely use my link. It will help me out a lot, and I get a little bit of a kickback from it, so it's always a good way to support the channel. But you know, flipping utilities is only for profit tracking. It's not really going to give you items. If you know what to flip, then, you know, flipping utilities might be all you need. But if you want to look at items, you want to look at graphs, and you want to really keep a close eye on larger market trends, GE Tracker is definitely a great way to do so. When I buy Primordials, Pegasians, or the Dragonfire Word, I always post about 100k below what the wiki shows. These items with higher volume don't show every price update. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think most people know that they don't show every single price update, but sometimes you want to position yourself within those tight margins because it could actually be accurate, and you could actually flip that item a little bit above that margin, a little bit below. What I actually watch the margins for is seeing what direction the item's going. I think that's like honestly the best way to do it, because when I'm staring at the margins, like if I see like the buy price continue to update and it keeps going further and further down and the sell price is not updating, that is pretty much a guaranteed sign that it's not guaranteed, but it is a strong sign that the item is going down in price. So just by watching the way that the margins move across multiple items, I can tell when something's going to come up or going to come down, and kind of position myself to try to take advantage of it. Right now, the scythe is actually looking like it's going a little bit sideways, but it's definitely gaining upward traction. So I doubt my buy offer is going to fill here, but I'm more confident that my sell offer will if I give it a couple more minutes, which would actually be nice, because then I'm actually listed about a 1 mil profit from where we bought on the Scythe of Vitur, just because I do expect this to come back up. But again, we'll keep a close eye on the buy prices. We are averaging into that offer as well, so if we do get it, we'll be getting in for a nice little cheap deal. Try to average that out, try to make a little bit more money. You guys know how it goes. I would love to make an entire video on like flipping risk and how to mitigate risk, how to manage risk during flipping sessions, especially when you have a lot of money on the line, right? Where you're flipping a lot of stuff that's really expensive, like the sides here, the twisted bow. Like, do I hold my item? Do I sell it? All those kind of different situations. Mark says that he averages out his buy offers too. Dude, it's the best way to ensure you're getting a good deal on an item. We also have Mir saying, since the real-time info is provided by RuneLite, do you think using the regular client and checking margins manually on the Grand Exchange could be beneficial? Probably not for higher-priced items. Probably not. It's probably not going to be worth gold most of the time. That being said, keep in mind that if you trade to somebody who is using the RuneLite client, then the price will get recorded. I think that is important to remember. A lot of people forget about that. So if you're trading someone who's using the RuneLite client, the price will get updated. So you could even have it off and the price still be updated. But do we cycle out of the code eyes? We probably shouldn't have done that. The Elysian's down about 6 mil from when we started the stream, so that's interesting. I'm glad we actually didn't go in on that. The Elysian is a little bit iffy right now, right? Because if a lot of expensive items are losing their value and the Elysian is still holding like a 970 mil price point, that's still pretty pumped up in my personal opinion. That item is still worth a good bit. Don't forget that over the past 2 years, the Elysian has gone up like from, I don't know, 550 mil all the way to like over 1 billion GP. So it is something to keep in mind. We also have that Arcane Spirit Shield selling off as well, which is good. Dragon Hunter Crossbow rotating back up again. And Lance, a little bit stale, actually. Let's adjust that a little bit. Boris, man, good to see you, Boris, dude. Thank you for tuning in today, man. He's popping in again. He says, can't you just turn off the plugin that sends the data to the wiki? Yes, you can, but that's just the same as using the default client, right? Because if someone has that on their RuneLite client and they trade an item, then it's going to get recorded. And think about it. A lot of average players don't flip. Like, a lot of people in this game do not flip. Yes, it has become way more popular to flip and to make money by flipping, but it by no means is the primary moneymaker for a lot of people. For me, it is. So I'm blessed to have that. Sarah Doman, thank you. Thank you, Sarah Doman, for giving me a good RNG on the exchange. But again, a lot of players don't care about flipping. They just have their RuneLite set up default, and those prices will get updated. I know I'm late, but I made it. Oh, dang, 7 mil. Absolutely, man. You can look at the total profits as well. Looking pretty solid on the session so far. Nothing crazy. Like, we had a lot of luck in the beginning, and we got super lucky on a Twisted Bow. But since then, like, honestly, we haven't had a ton of luck, which kind of stinks. We're kind of waiting for this Volatile Orb to... Oh, that Volatile Orb popped up, man. We missed that, dude. Okay. Interesting. Hopefully we get another Scythe here, but we probably won't. And, yeah, we're just... Oh, yeah, that Scythe is probably going to come down to this here. I think this is going to hit. It's now looking a little bit stale on that Scythe, so we'll see what happens. Prims are, like, kind of working, but they're kind of not. It's kind of weird. We'll sell the ones we do have, take a little bit of profit there. Just got a bag sit on those the rest of the prims here. Still at 598 mil, and I want to make sure we can actually flip something else with it. You know what we haven't done in a long time? And the reason we haven't done these is because real-time prices really killed the flips on the Amulet of Torture, but that's what we're going to do here today. The Amulet of Torture used to be one of my favorite freaking items, man. Unfortunately, it's kind of rotated off my main list because real-time prices have made it not nearly as good to flip anymore. But the Amulet of Torture and Necklace of Anguish, guys, I used to crush these back in the day. Honestly, probably one of my top items that brought me from like a 150, 200 mil stack all the way to freaking 1 bill stack. I always flip these things, man. You know, you have those items that are just like just your favorite items. You're like, every time I flip that, it makes me bank. That was the Amulet of Torture for me, and the Necklace of Anguish back in the day. But, but now it's like not nearly as good. Wow, and that Twisted Bow is sinking right back down, guys. I thought that might have the potential to get to that 1 bill price point, but I thought that was the run to the 1 bill, but that's not the case. This Twisted Bow is crashing right now pretty hard, so we'll stay away from that. Currently down about 3 mil since its last movement. Back to around where we actually bought it originally, so interesting on that. Boris says, do you mind scrolling through all the items you flipped in your flipping utilities at the end? Yeah, we can definitely do that, man. Sand says, I have no experience on flipping. I just skill in PPM. I tried flipping this weekend. I found a 150 GP margin on uncharged orbs, messed up, ended up losing 400k. Sandman, don't let that discourage you, bro. When we teach people to start flipping an old school RuneScape, we highly recommend that they stick to high volume items. Very safe stuff like sharks, monkfish, mana rays, blood runes, death runes, law runes, nature runes, battle staffs, things that are super easy to trade, super high volume, even in like the top 100 most traded items. And the reason we recommend that is because it's way easier to learn how to flip in those low risk environments. You might make a little bit of money, and if you end up losing money, it's only like 50k, so it's really not a big deal. But flipping is such, I mean, like anyone who learned how to flip in the chat, right, which is probably most people here, My guess would be it's probably 50% of people in this stream started flipping from my streams or from flipping old school streams, and about 50% knew how to flip in the past, and it brought their previous knowledge to the game of RuneScape, in old school RuneScape, that is. So let me know in the chat, are you new to flipping, or is flipping something you've done in the past and you've gotten used to it, or did I teach you how to flip? Let me know. I bet it's like a 50-50 split if I had to guess. Personally, flipping old school taught me how to flip, and then I saw how he did it. I just started flipping, and here we are, man. So anyway, would be curious. Man, I used to tear the GE up with Zenite Jewelry flips pre-real-time price updates, says Saints Fan. Dude, back in the day, dude, I'm telling you, man. We have Jay popping in as well. He says, what's up, everyone? Profits looking juicy. Definitely had a good twisted bow flip today, which really helped a lot from a profit standpoint. But we are we're not in trouble on the Scythe of Vitur here, but we're not crystal clear. We'll put it that way, man. And anyway, guys, if you are enjoying the stream today, please drop a like. It really does help me out a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Let's keep flipping, guys. We are doing pretty good here today, coming on that last 10-minute leg of the session. We also have Phantomon says, new and I learned from you and flipping old school. Still don't know what I'm doing. Only thing that works for me is the twisted bow. And look at that, guys. I mean, come on, man. The Scythe ended up rotating in our favor. That's extremely lucky, dude. Considering we instant bought that, right? So, I mean, that's super lucky. That's all I have to say. But that's Phant, man. That's awesome, dude. I'm curious. It's curious that, or I'm curious, I guess, as to why only the twisted bow works for you. That's pretty funny. But I guess, hey, if there's one item that always works for you, it's the twisted bow. Let's play the downward on the twisted bow here, guys. I feel like that's a reasonable offer on a downtrending twisted bow. Brad says, man, all these tips, I really should be writing these down or something. So informative. Honestly, that's why I love doing these live streams, because like we get into these rants on stream, and we just like, sometimes between me and the chat, like we just come up with these golden ideas. Like it's not even all me. Like sometimes I read the chat and someone says like some sage flipping advice, and it's just like, I got to repeat this for the stream. But I mean, a lot of it is just discussion on flipping. Like I've done a lot of freaking flipping, like a lot and lot. I flipped a 9 mil cash stack all the way to my current stack of like 3 bill. So like, imagine how many hours that takes. But anyway, like I've done a lot of flipping, no flex or anything. Just I'm pretty knowledgeable about how the Grand Exchange works, and I think a lot of that knowledge can be shared with you guys in like an open format, and you can benefit from it. So definitely ask any questions you might have regarding flipping or money making. I'll take my best stab at answering it. I can't guarantee it'll be a good answer, but I definitely like to talk about it and theorize on certain situations and how you can maximize your profit and all that jazz, man. We also have the Primordial Boots starting to rotate up as well. Very, very nice. It kind of looks like the Twisted Bow is caught in a little bit of resistance at the 986 mil mark, but I don't really want to go in on it in case that's actually false. But I do imagine that's going to rotate upwards. We do have an offer still on the site, so I'm not that upset about it. Snippy says, I started watching Flipping Old School, then I found your channel. Personally, prefer your content much more, super interactive. I mean, look, listen, Flipping Old School is a freaking RuneScape legend, Grand Exchange legend, man. Like, I donate, you know, a lot of my drive comes from him, and I definitely originally started the channel inspired by him. So, I mean, look, he does a great job of what he does. He's amazing. I wish he would do live streams in a similar format, but he just doesn't. So, I'm here to do that for you guys until he does, man. And I still will do it afterwards, of course, because I love doing these streams, man. We've done over 251-hour flipping sessions on the Grand Exchange. Like, can I get a PogChamp in the chat for literally 250 freaking flipping live streams? It feels insane, man. Anyway, Phantomon says, I feel like most items under 50 mil lose their margins really quickly. Phantomon, it's just a competition thing, right? Anyone can flip it. You're going to lose the margin on it. Jay says, I flipped in other games too. I started playing OSRS / flipping from free to play. I stopped for a while and then I came back into it and improved a lot because of the Scape streams with a little bit of a flex in the chat. Can we get any flexers in the chat? Let me know, man. Let me know. Anyway, we have Queen Saraha says, please help. I spend 100 mil on potatoes and now they won't sell. Saraha, man, good to see you, bro. I wonder when you're coming back. That's my question, dude. We have AR saying my old strategy was 4-hour rotations on about 10 to 20 PVM items. Was consistent at 5 million a day, but real-time prices killed it completely. That's unfortunate to hear, man. But here's the thing is, like, the market's always changing. You got to adapt to new metas, new markets, just like the game, right? New, bullpipe gets nerfed, new range meta. Same thing on the Grand Exchange, like real-time, prices get changed, you got to adapt to it. And it's funny, we actually crush really good sessions with real-time prices on stream. Not always, but like, I found that the sessions are less consistent, right? But when you hit something good, like, it makes a big freaking difference, man. I mean, 3.9 mil on the Twisted Bow, currently averaging about 2 mil on the Scythe of Return profit. Like, that alone, freaking crazy, man. Also, this Scythe is probably about to make us a good amount of bank, too. See if that actually works in our favor here. Probably will, actually. DJ says, I flipped in RS2 when the GE had, like, hard 5% limits. I wanted to relearn it from OSRS, and here I am. DJ, man, good to see you, of course. But that's interesting. I forgot that was actually a thing, right? Because they tried to stop gold transfer. So that was... Those were some times, boys. We'll put it that way. I don't know how you could ever have a game where you can't trade with other players. Like an MMO where you can't trade with other players freely. Like, I don't know what the Jagex team was thinking, but not my problem. Wow, man. Oh my god. The 10 mil session? The 10 mil session. It could be today, boys. It could be today. Well, I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, but it is looking decent on that front, man. Queen Saraha says, what is the Scythe sitting at now? About 500, between 530 and 540 mil. It's been trading around for the past like 2 days or so. It was actually relatively stable over the weekend, in my opinion. We actually just need to get one more juicy, cheeky flip in here, guys, to make a little bit of money. So let's just do something easy, man. Get to that that 10 mil mark, man. We do have 5 minutes to execute on something, so it should be relatively easy. The Bandos chestplate, we tried to do these earlier. They didn't really work out too well, did they? Try to get 2 of these going. Furies? Yeah, we could do Furies. Furies, like, the problem is, now that real-time prices are in place, literally, there's no, like, easy flip anymore, right? Where it's like, oh, just smack the Furies for a little bit of profit. I mean, come on, guys. This Scythe is actually ripping right now. This is just... It's not even fair, man. It's literally not even fair, dude. It's like robbery on the Scythe here. I really hope we get this, man. Come on. We need it in the next 3 minutes, man. Come on, dude. Come on. If we get it in, literally, or the Bandos chestplates, we just can't lose money on the last Scythe here. If we can get it in 3 minutes, we're gonna hit that 10 mil session, man. And hey, if we can get a nice 10 mil session, I think it'll be the first one, because we didn't get it last time. But I can't remember if I've gotten one on stream before, but I don't think I have. So, it's been the long-awaited 10 mil session. We're going to see, man. Brant says, seeing you so passionate about flipping is contagious. Makes me excited about learning and more about the system. The community feels welcoming too. Brant, man, I hope you're with us on Discord, dude. We have a great community, guys. Honestly, we're just passionate about flipping. We talk flipping 24/7 in our Discord group. We definitely recommend you guys check it out. Like, anyone in the live chat could vouch for the freaking Discord, man. It's honestly amazing. I mean, as long as they're in it, of course. But anyway. Queen Saraha says, Scape over here making what a noob does in a year. It is what it is, man. The wolves of the exchange, they walk away with the most profit, of course. Did you sell all your PVM items and gear to flip? Nope, I still have my PVM stuff, although I never use it, man. Jim OSRS says, do you think they'll ever come out with a new RuneScape server? Old school? Old school, old school. Old school is already 8 years old. I know, it's crazy, man. Potentially, but I would not think anytime soon, to be quite honest. But, anything's possible with the Jagex team. I mean, I think that's pretty clear, am I right? Okay, we're going to cash out lower on the Scythe here, just to get out of the flip, man. And once we get out of it, like... It should be the profit mark that we want. We do theoretically have a minute and 30 seconds left to sell the Scythe. So, I mean, I sure hope it sells off so we can officially get the 10 mil session. Would be quite nice. even though the session time says we have still a couple minutes left. But well, I've been seeing you do this series for ages now. Fair play, Mata RL, man. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. I know we've been doing this for a long time, man. We were just talking about it. I have over 250 flipping streams on YouTube and Twitch now too, I guess. But freaking insane, dude. Like, we've been doing this for unhealthy amounts of time, most likely. Legend stream. I mean, it's basically a 10 mil session. We just have to wait for the scythe to sell here, but we'll just wait a little bit longer and it should sell, man. I mean, we're not listed very high on the site at all. Like, this is a pretty easiest offer, a pretty obvious offer, excuse me. And I would be shocked if this didn't sell within the next minute or so. What about the tacit? We just cut the tacits because we already flipped the tacits today, so we can't actually do more tacits. But while we're waiting for the scythe to sell here, guys, let's go through and take a look at what we actually flipped today to make this profit, right? 9.9 mil, pretty much a 10 mil session. It's not technically, I guess, so it kind of feels bad, man. But we got the Twisted Bow off for a 3.9 mil flip. Complete luck on that. We just got in at the right time, and we actually instant sold it for like a 4 mil gain. So we probably could have made even more on that, but just, you know, right place, right time, really got that off easy. Next was the scythes. We actually had a great flipping session on the scythes today, 3.5 mil. I think there's only one of them where we didn't really make any money on it. I believe it was like a 150k flip on the scythe. We were scared it was going to rotate down. We got out of it for a small profit, and I think we actually did end up getting back in for cheaper, which was good, which is why we were able to smack a really good margin on the next one. The Spectral Spirit Shields as well, 642k profit on those. Really just saw that price rotating up, decided to get in on it. Same exact thing with the Sanguesti, and the same exact thing with the Grazi. I mean, across the board there, that's like 1.5 mil. Super good there. The Dragon Hunter Lance, these took a little bit longer than I expected. We didn't fill out a full limit on these, but we still made 368k. Not too bad on those. Arcane Spirit Shields took a little bit longer than I thought they would, and not for an amazing margin, but 360k, we'll take it. Primordial Boots didn't really do much, but big margin on them, 162k, only flipped 3 of those. Tacits making us 11k each, easy enough, and Dragon Claws 49k, and our only loss being the Dragon Hunter Crossbow, which we listed incorrectly. Now, I don't know what to do with the scythe here. I guess we could just knock it down and sell it for like literally 100k gain, and we're going to make profit. So that's probably what we'll do here. And should instant sell or close to. There we go, man. 10.2 mil session today, guys. Super nice. Very happy about those gains today. We can't even collect it because we got too much money in the stack today, dude. Freaking incredible, man. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in today. We're going to cap it there. And right on this, my session time actually says we've been going for an hour. So that's awesome to see. The stream obviously was a little bit over that, but I think it's worth it, man. I think it's worth it because we basically had it already listed in there. I think we can count it. Anyway, 10.2 mil session today, guys. Really solid flipping session. 3.8 mil on the end on the sides there. So very nice. Thank you guys for tuning in to the stream today with me. Be sure to join us on Discord if you're not with us in there already to learn more about flipping and money making in old school RuneScape. Besides that, be sure to drop a like on the stream. It really does help me out a lot. We only had 10 likes on YouTube today, and we've been crushing 20 likes every session. So, I mean, come on. We can't have 10 likes on the 10.2 mil session, guys. So definitely smash that like button. Again, it really does help me out a lot. Gets my content up there with some other great RuneScape content creators, and every like helps, man. So we do appreciate it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I'll see you all on Wednesday for our Wednesday evening flipping session. Hopefully we can crush the Grand Exchange equally as good, and I'll see you all in the next one.